Hello and welcome, guys, to Phoebe Reggae Dancehall TV. This is Fancy. Yes, your girl Fancy from Late Night Talk and her very own channel, Fancy Reedy, on YouTube. I am sitting in for your boy Dre tonight. This we are celebrating International Women's Month, and I have the pleasure of sitting here with the most gorgeous introduce herself in a minute. Terra Renee. She is the founder and president of the American African American Women in Cinema. Before we go ahead though, guys, remember, share this video, like this video, and if you haven't yet, subscribe to this channel and run over to my channel and subscribe also. So guys, I hope you enjoy this interview tonight. Stay tuned. Go ahead, Tara.
Hello, Fancy. How are you? I am so pleased to be here.
Hello, Tara. I am super excited to meet you, and I don't know. I thank you for sending over your bio. I was like, wow, and wow, and wow. So go ahead, introduce yourself, Miss Tara.
Sure. I am the president and founder, as you stated earlier, of African American Women in Cinema. We are a nonprofit organization based in the United States. We've been in existence now for the past 23 years, just focusing on providing opportunities for talented women filmmakers of color, bringing awareness of who they are, because a lot of them are independent outside of Hollywood, but they are rich, strong, talented storytellers. And we are
Awesome.
super excited to have them uh, be to the forefront in which we could share what they do to the world. And it is very important, and especially in this era that we're living in now.
Absolutely. So what I'm going to be doing is asking Miss Tara some questions, and we'll go forward. So she just introduced what she do and or foundation. She's been in this foundation for 23 years. Okay, Tara, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am a go-getter. I am an advocate. The advocacy run through my veins. It's in my family line. I have had family members who have participated in the civil rights movement, in the marches, thrown in jail, and that part. My own grandfather, excuse me, my own grandfather attended Dr. King's funeral.
Oh, okay.
So advocacy runs in my blood, standing on the forefront, dealing with injustices on whatever level. It's been in my blood. And so that's who I am in a nutshell.
In a nutshell. All right. So, like we say, like initially what I said, we are celebrating International Women's Month. So, how does your foundation specifically support women?
What we do, Fancy, when we got started 23 years ago, we did not have the opportunity and the advantage of the whole technology that exists now. And in so many ways, have truly advanced us. When we got started, it was very difficult for a woman to translate their story to the medium of film, because one of the reasons why, it was so expensive. You literally had to buy rolls of film, 35 millimeter or 16 millimeter or 8 millimeter. You then had to buy rolls of sound. Then you had to hire a crew. Then you had to get permits to shoot at whatever locations. Then you had to feed the people. And then you're talking 16, 20-hour days. So, and imagine pouring in your blood, sweat, and tears to tell a short story in that way, in that format, and it's a very good story, and then not having a platform for the story to be shared to the public at large. Because back then, it was very, very rare for a woman of color to receive a major distribution deal with major distributors in Hollywood, like your Warner Brothers or your Universal Pictures. It was just very difficult. Some were able to achieve that, but as a whole, it was not really, I can say, really, I can venture to say, really was not the norm. So what we did was once we start understanding the lack of opportunities for these women, we created a platform where these women who just had the courage to tell this story and put in everything they had, that they had at home, to showcase their work to the public at large. And we promoted it and then
Oh,
provided network opportunities for them to further the life of the film in other platforms.
awesome. Sounds excellent.
Mhm.
Sounds like it's a lot of work for you,
Yes.
but I'm guessing that you have a great team with you. And so by saying that, what are your okay, so before I go ahead with that question, I just want to go with the flow. Um, what are your challenges? What are your challenges in your organization?
You know, it's always, and this is why I'm saying right now in 2021 presents such a unique era, one that I am so happy to be around to witness. It has always been a lack of support across the board, you know, resources, funding, just getting the right people in place, things of that nature. And when now he's President Biden, we're so excited about that and super excited about Vice President Kamala Harris.
Right?
We're just thrilled at the fact that they are making one of their issues to deal with is systemic racism. And that's something that we've been contending with because of that. A lot of the times we don't get the support that we need. So now we are in the midst of a serious paradigm shift where we are, I mean, just the mere fact that we now have a president who acknowledged that there is an issue and he wants to try to do something about it is mind blowing. So what's beginning to happen now is a level of consciousness and awareness of just basically saying, you know what, we need to change how we were doing things. Let's now open the gates a little bit and let's get in this diversity matter and let us really understand that this is very important.
Right. Thank you. So, as you know, this year theme for International Women's Month is choose to challenge. What are you choosing to challenge this month? Or maybe not just this month, maybe going forward this year onwards.
I'm choosing to challenge this system. I'm choosing to say, you know, we've been on the sidelines long enough. It is now a
Yes.
just due time to have that seat at the table. And if you still refuse, we're going to create our own table and our own seat. And we're going to make a lot of noise about it because we're going to challenge folks to come to our table if we are refused yet again a seat at the table.
So, Tara, do you feel that we have come a long way to get that seat at the table? Do you see 23 years? right? From 23 years until 2021 we're in now. Do you see major changes in the film industry where we now have more seats at the table or more needs to be done?
Well, I can say this: we are definitely on the track to get more seats at the table. If I don't know if any of your audience members had the opportunity to watch any of the recent Hollywood awards, where you're starting to see more people of color now being recognized for their works, which
Yes.
is huge. In 2018, Regina King won an Oscar for her role in the film If Beale Street Could Talk. That was huge. And I understood that the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Science have now changed a few regulations and policies that they had to make it more inclusive, to make people more diverse who vote in these categories. So I am grateful for that. I also understand that Mr. Tyler Perry is receiving a special Oscar. So that's great. So we are definitely on the track. And also, our Honorable Cicely Tyson, who recently passed away, but she was able to receive an honorary Oscar. So we are certainly, strides are certainly being made, but we cannot rest on those laurels and say, okay, well, the tide is changing, and we can sit back and take a breath now. No, we have to keep the pressure on. We have to keep making the noise that we are out here and we too are as equally talented.
Yes, of course. Absolutely. And not just talented, but deserve again. We can get into the pay area also too, right? Yeah. Equal pay.
Yes.
All right. Um, what motivates you the most to do this, to keep going after 23 years?
That's an excellent question, Fancy. Thank you. I truly believe it's a calling. It has to be a calling because at times, certainly in the earlier to mid years, the pressure, the burden had become so heavy. And there were many times of discouragement because when you are going against the grain and you are being the voice for the voiceless, there are many out there who try to silence you, and they will do it by any means necessary. And
Yeah.
so, you know, you have to have a calling because it is that inner spark that would refuse to go out, and it keeps you motivated somehow, some way in the back of your mind, even if you get down to your last bit of hope and ready to throw in the towel. That spark, that inner calling says, no, you're too close to something. You can't give up now. Just put one foot in front of the other and keep it moving.
Absolutely. You know what? I'm gonna take I use that sometimes I'm driving home and I do get those challenges too. I've been at a banker for 10 years and then some days you have those rough days and then some days you're like, no, I'm here for a reason. I have a purpose. So yeah, I do get that, girl. I really, really I'm so inspired by you and I'm really hoping that the women and even the men that watches this video is going to be so inspired. Go ahead.
Well, thank you. I had many who inspired and encouraged me, and I have made a promise that I will continue to pay it forward. You'd be surprised what powerful, kind words can do to someone
Yes, yes,
who is really dealing
absolutely.
with it.
Yes, exactly. It's so true. Like I'm sitting here and I'm listening to you and I can relate. You, I'm not in film, um, theater and cinema, right? I'm not. But it's some of things you're saying is just life itself, right? It's not just in
Yes, yes.
in that organization. So I can
Hmm.
relate 100%. And oh my gosh, I'm sitting here and I'm like, wow, you know, it seems like you were sent by somebody. But thank you. So another questions.
Mhm.
Question. What does it mean to you to be a black educated woman in business in America?
Wow, that's pretty loaded. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, uh,
I read your bio, girl, and it's not just education, it's all the because before you even answer your question, it's not about showing off or anything, but I really want you to highlight some of your achievement because there's so much. Essence magazine, there's so much. Like when I saw your bio, I'm like, wow, so impressive. So please just give us a few bullet points of your achievements because you didn't in your introduction.
oh yeah. Well, first, thank you, Fancy. I am very humble that God allowed me to achieve on the level that He did, in spite of the many obstacles as being a woman of color, educated woman of color in America.
Yeah.
And when you are on certain levels, you can sense certain things like racism when you're being treated differently because of the color of your skin, or because some may be intimidated by you because of what you know, and being discriminated in that way. But God always have a way to encourage you. And, you know, I can recall a few times where it was just, it just seemed like I just needed to just stop. And that would be the time when I would get a phone call from an organization saying, you know, we would like to honor you because what you're doing, what you have done, we just want to tell our entire community about you. I said, wow, what a way to be encouraged yourself. You know, you literally in 1 minute you're ready to say forget it, and then the phone call just shift everything. So I was very grateful. I am very grateful to have been acknowledged by several organizations and companies. I received the Best Female Manager Award from the African Consulting Group, which is in partnership with the Mandela Institute. I had to go to Paris to receive the award. I,
Wow.
re- I received the NAACP Women of the Year Award. I've also received the Bill McCreary Living Legend Award. Bill McCreary was a top executive at a major media outlet in America, and he really shattered a lot of barriers with that. So it was an honor to receive an award in his name. I've been on the cover of magazines, Impact International. I've been in Essence magazine. I've been written up in the New York Times. I've been featured on CNN and ABC shows, news shows. And and I'm grateful. I To me, as I grab the award and thank God for it and thank the people who just count me worthy of receiving it, I I hug it, I put it on the shelf, and I keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're humble. You know, it's not about the awards, but it's nice to get, right? It's not about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's
It's
nice
not
to
about it
be
recognized. Yeah.
recognized. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Absolutely. So, okay, thank you for that amazing inspiration. It's so much, it's inspired me so much. I'm sitting here practically with a celebrity. you know? So I'm really, really grinning from ears to ears. I really appreciate this. Okay, so where do you see yourself, not yourself, but your organization? You started 23 years ago. Where do you see your organization in the next 5 years?
Well, I am pleased to inform you and your audience that we have just partnered with the organization in Senegal, Africa, and we're going to be doing community programming showing the next generation of storytellers how to make films. It is a program that we're going to also execute here in the United States with the next generation of filmmakers as well. In addition, when we get through fully through the pandemic, we are looking to provide several women filmmakers of color an opportunity for them to shoot their own feature film. And so, very excited about that, in which we would then make it available for distributors. So that way, their project, their story can be realized in major and larger markets. So that's what we're looking to do in the next 5 years: educate, provide opportunities, not only for women now in our era, but also the next generation on a global level.
I just was gonna ask that question. So, for me, I'm here in Canada and you're
Mm-hmm.
in the States. There's people who
Mm-hmm.
will be watching definitely. Fury Reggae Dancehall TV is everybody watch. Mostly, there's lots of Jamaicans who watch. And like I said initially, a few Jamaicans do are in the acting industry too. So is that something that you just said it, like your organization will be helping people globally. So by saying that, if so, how do one get in contact with you if they have similar interests or they need advice or just don't know where to start? How do one get in contact with Tara or your organization?
Well, the good news is that we have a film festival coming up November 4th through the 6th. It's going to be online. We are launching our call for submission. So this is open up to women globally. They can submit their film for consideration to the film festival. This will be an opportunity for them to be able to network online with other attendees and gain some insight from the industry professionals who will be participating by providing educational panels and workshops. So
Oh,
I always tell people, start there, because usually a lot of questions get answered. Even if they
yes.
go to a screening and they network afterwards, or they go to a panel or workshop, they meet someone, or they end up hearing a speaker, just give answers into what they've been looking for. So that is always my point of entry. Anyone who's interested in film, wanting to know more about African American women in cinema and what we do, that is a strong point of entry. And they can email us at info@aawic.org, or you can always go to our website, which is www.aawic.org. And that's the acronym for African American Women in Cinema.
Might I
So it's
had Tara, um I will be grabbing, you can send me all that information, your email address and the website. I will be asking Dre to put that in the bio.
oh,
Sorry, the
wonderful.
description box. So once
Excellent.
you do the description of the video, you we will be making sure that we're adding your information there. So it will be just one click away to get to you. Okay? Or to the
Yes. Thank you
organization.
so much. I
Yeah, no
appreciate
problem. Yeah, no problem. All right. So I think I went through all the questions I wanted to ask, but is there anything you wanted to add tonight, Tara?
I just want to tell your audience, we all globally have experienced some rough times with the COVID. Many loved ones were lost. And it's been such a paradigm shift for a lot of people on a very personal level. But I want to, if I can bring you anything through this interview, I would love to bring you hope, because as long as you are alive, there is hope. Today may
Yes.
not be all what you want it to be, but tomorrow could be. And it's had happened so many times in my life. I was at the brink of tears, ready to throw everything away. And literally the next day, honest to God, the sun came out and it was a new page in the script of my life that just spoke volumes of happiness, joy, and I knew all would be well. And so I
Yes.
want to encourage your listeners, don't give up. I know there are times where it's just really hard, but you can make it. I am a full testimonial witness that you can definitely make it.
Yeah, you know what? I want to add something. Just because, this will inspire somebody. And I, like myself on my channel is to inspire women too. And
Mm,
I would like to add what Miss Tara said just now. Don't give up. Even yesterday, I was sitting in my chair at work, and just tears come to my eye to just the overwhelming feeling of, oh, I pushed so hard. Sometimes I'm driving home and I'm like, God, I work so hard. I just want to see the result, and just to see things playing out, because every one of us have life happens for every one of us. But is it like you said, don't give up. There's gonna be a light down the tunnel, and it's a hard. It had 2020 was a hard year. 2021 started out as a hard year, but I believe there's better. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and I believe that things will be just fine. Even people out there, you're doing your YouTube, you might see Dre doing his YouTube. This is Dre YouTube, and I keep forgetting it's not my YouTube. He worked so hard to get it where it is at right now. He never give up. There's down times, bad times, good times. He never give up. And I get encouragement from him. I get encouragement from my peers. Guys, never give up. Okay, Miss Tara, go ahead.
that is so true. And that's what I really would love to convey to you all during this video. For some of you, you may be on the brink of your biggest breakthrough moment yet. And I can just share just briefly a testimony about that. Which actually led to how I got in Essence magazine, and it was a situation that arose, and just like Fancy said, life,
Life happens.
and
Yeah.
and I was trying to contend with the matter, and it involved several people, and through no fault, just mishappens. But I would take the fall for it because it was geared towards my organization. And I said, God, I cannot go another step because I have truly done all that I can do as it relates to this problem. And it seems so massive, it's really nothing I can do. And literally the next day, I got an email from the organization who partnered with Essence Magazine. And they said, listen, we were hired by a major retailer. And we want to feature, and we partner up with Essence Magazine, and we want to feature you in Essence Magazine. And we came across you because we saw, we actually did a search, and you came up in the search. And when I saw you, this is the creative director was telling me this. He said that God told him to pick me for the campaign. And what was so ironic, the night that he did this Google search and had this revelation was the same night I was praying and telling God I was quitting. And so everything is in divine order. And that's why it's so important for you to hang in there. You never know what could happen in 24 hours. You just don't
This is
know.
this is for you who is listening. Anybody who's listening, I know this will touch anybody who's listening. And I believe, we believe. All right. So, oh my gosh, it's like I'm inspired. You're inspired. Thank you, Miss Tara, for coming over to Fury Reggae Dancehall TV and doing this interview with me, Fancy Reedy. It was a pleasure having you, and my takeaway is just don't give up. Um, just don't give up. There's gonna be a light in the tunnel. All right, guys. I know you guys will be inspired by this, and I know some of you guys will be like, "Oh, I'm an actor. I'm an actress. I want to reach out to this lady." We will be putting her information in the description box below. So please make sure that you share this video, and maybe you don't need this information, but someone might. So remember to subscribe, like up this video, share this video, and if you haven't yet, go over to my channel and subscribe. It is Fancy sitting in for Dre. You guys have a great day. Fancy is out.